If you ever feel out of control around food, you're not alone, and you're in the right place to learn practical, no-nonsense information about why you binge and how to stop. Binge eating does not mean that something is wrong with you. It's a natural but primitive brain response that you can correct. If you're ready for change, sign up for the Brain Over Binge self-paced online course for less than $20 per month. And if you feel you need personalized support, we also offer one-on-one coaching and group coaching. To learn more, go to brainoverbinge.com/subscribe. And I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the Brain Over Binge podcast, where you learn a simple, brain-based approach for ending binge eating. I'm Kathryn Hansen, your host, and I want to mention today that last week was the 1-year anniversary of this podcast. It's been a great year, and I truly hope you've enjoyed the episode so far and that you'll enjoy future episodes. If you're new to this podcast and to this approach, I always recommend for you to go back to the beginning and listen to the first 11 episodes in order, because I organize those episodes in a logical sequence that allows you to learn all the basics of the Brain Over Binge approach, and those episodes also provide a foundation for all of the episodes that followed. Throughout this first year of podcasting, I've tried to provide very helpful information in a straightforward way. In each episode, I try to just jump right in and give you ideas that you can put to use in your own recovery. I realize that this straightforward approach can lack some pizzazz, I guess, but that's not really my style. And I hope that even though the episodes aren't highly entertaining, I hope that the concepts resonate with you and make a difference in your life. I also hope that you've enjoyed the amazing guests I've had on the show so far, and I already have some great guests lined up for 2018. I hope that you continue to find the podcast a great place to get support in ending your binge eating habit. And remember, you can always go back and listen to prior episodes to solidify concepts and reinforce what you've learned, and really just to focus on putting this habit behind you for good. And now I want to move on to today's topic, which is challenging your motivations to diet. I've talked a lot recently about avoiding restrictive dieting, and I'm going to continue that again today because to me, it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself, especially as the new year approaches. If you have not listened already, I recommend that you go back and listen to episode 30, which is called No Resolutions to Diet, which is a complement to this episode. In episode 30, I encouraged you to make a commitment not to diet in the new year, which would also serve to help you avoid end-of-the-year binging. Now, you may be someone who has gone on a new weight loss diet every single year in January for a long time, so you may have some trouble making this commitment not to diet. Dieting may seem so normal for you at this point that you don't really even think about why you're doing it. You may just think, well, I need to lose some weight, so it's time to go on a diet. Well, today I want you to look deeper than that. Because once you start to challenge your motivations to diet, it can help you realize that it's not something you actually want to be doing. It can help you see that dieting is harming you and making recovery from binging impossible. I'm going to give you 4 common motivations for going on a weight loss diet and how to challenge each one of those motivations. The first motivation for dieting is that there is no actual motivation or thoughtful reason for it. It's purely a habit. You may have had some original motivation for your first diet, but then it just kind of stuck and you kept doing it even though it wasn't working in the long run. Your thoughts about weight loss, your thoughts about eating plans and restriction may simply be conditioned thought patterns that appear predictably and automatically, especially as the new year approaches. It's time to stop following these automatic responses and these automatic thoughts. Your habitual desire to diet is not serving you. You can decide that it's time to start considering that you have other healthier options and that eating enough will help you in your efforts to stop binging, overeating, and it will help your weight settle at a natural and normal level for you as well. You can treat your habitual dieting thoughts and urges to restrict as neurological junk. You can stop giving them attention and you can commit to eating adequately, now and in the new year. There's no need to keep following that old, automatic, harmful dieting pattern. The second motivation for dieting is positive feelings. If you met a weight loss goal in the past, it may have given you some temporary good feelings, like a feeling of achievement or pride or confidence. The feelings were fleeting, but it may have temporarily lifted your mood, at least at the times that you were thinking about your weight and not your other problems in life. Most of the time, these positive feelings related to weight loss aren't even that great. Most people describe the positive feelings related to weight loss as very fragile, and even when they are feeling good temporarily because of their weight, they have this underlying anxiety about it because they worry that they'll just gain the weight back. But what happens is when you do gain the weight back, which happens to the vast majority of dieters, it's easy to remember the positive feelings that you did have. And it's easy to remember those positive feelings as being better than they actually were. Our brains remember pleasure more than pain. So most people have a tendency to focus on the positive feelings of weight loss and not the negative ones that they did experience as well. So many people end up chasing those fleeting moments of good feelings that they had during a diet, or possibly chasing the feelings that the diet industry tells us that we should have when we lose weight, which never actually match up to reality. I want you to realize that chasing positive feelings by making yourself miserable with strict diet rules and self-criticism and binge eating just is not worth it. If you can step back and see that the positive feeling, like the feeling of happiness or pride or achievement, is what you actually want, then you can see that you don't need the self-sabotage of a diet to achieve those good feelings. And you also don't need to see a certain number on the scale. All of those same good feelings can be achieved in a non-diet way, in a way that's sustainable, in a way that does not harm you and that doesn't lead to binging. If you want a feeling of achievement, for example, you can work toward that in other parts of your life. You can find feelings of happiness being with people you love without your mind caught up thinking about food. You can find confidence in mastering a skill that has nothing to do with weight loss. And good feelings don't always have to be connected to accomplishments either. Good feelings are available to you in simple ways and in ways that are fulfilling and sustainable. Another important thing to remember while talking about positive feelings is that you will not feel great about yourself or reside in these positive feelings all the time. It's normal for all of us to have ups and downs in our state of mind. But the point is to avoid chasing unrealistic goals or performing harmful behaviors in order to try to experience these ups in your state of mind, because the overall impact of chasing unrealistic goals is going to be negative feelings. The third motivation for dieting is attention or affection. Seeking positive feelings, like I just talked about, is about how dieting makes you feel internally. But seeking attention or affection is about the external attention that you get from the weight loss, which then can also lead to some internal feelings as well. You may feel like dieting and working on having the perfect body attracts attention toward you, or it has attracted attention in the past, whether that's through admiration or romantic attraction. With this motivation for dieting, it's important not only to see that you can get attention and affection in other ways, but also that the attention and affection that you receive as a result of dieting is mostly superficial. It's also very fragile, and it's not lasting. The type of attention that you actually want, that's better quality attention, is the attention you get when you just be yourself, and you show up in life in an authentic way and use your natural gifts. And being your authentic self does not mean being an unhealthy version of yourself. As I've said many times on the podcast, giving up dieting does not mean giving up on health, or giving up on feeling strong, or giving up on presenting yourself well to the world. It does not mean you stop taking pride in yourself. It just means you'll take pride in yourself at your natural size and not try to gain more attention from how your body looks by doing harmful things to yourself. Take some time to think about how you can experience good quality attention and affection in your life, the kind that feels fulfilling, like the attention you may get from helping others or giving of yourself. Think about the affection that you get from being a loyal friend or parent or sibling or partner or daughter or son. And think about the attention you get from being hardworking or intelligent or funny or simply being appreciated for who you are. I know it doesn't always happen that people automatically appreciate you for who you are, but it's better to give them that chance rather than only looking for attention as a result of dieting and the way you look. The fourth motivation for dieting is control. And when talking about control, I want you to know that there's really nothing wrong with wanting to have a predictable schedule or manage your life well. And there's also nothing wrong with wanting to have some sort of plan for your eating if you feel you need it. The problem comes in when you start feeling like you need to perfectly control everything you put in your mouth. Eating is a natural, fundamental biological drive, and it doesn't really lend itself well to being perfectly controlled, especially when that control means deprivation and calorie restriction. When you over-control your eating by not giving yourself enough food, your lower brain gets the message that you're starving, and it heightens that desire and that drive to eat and binge. So the control you're trying to exert actually backfires and leads you to feel more out of control. So if right now you feel like your life is unstable and you want to feel more in control, which is a perfectly normal desire, know that over-controlling your food is not a good option. You may have some automatic desire to diet based on your actions in the past, but I want you to challenge your motivation for this and realize that it's not actually going to help. Then you can try to focus on taking some control elsewhere if you feel you need more stability. Try to see if there's an area of your life that you can put more energy into managing better. Maybe that means seeking a more stable schedule and routine in your daily life. Or maybe it means some more organization in your home or at work, or maybe trying to improve a relationship. Doing those things certainly does not cure an eating disorder, but anything that will take your focus away from restrictive dieting helps break that diet and binge cycle. Another thing you can do if control is your motivation for dieting is to change how you think about the concept of control. We truly are not in control of everything, even most things in our lives, and trying to pretend that we are often leads to frustration and exhaustion. There is freedom in getting comfortable with uncertainty. That may even lead you toward thinking deeper about your life. It may lead you toward spirituality or just a deeper perspective on living. So those were the 4 common motivations for dieting. And just as a summary, the first one was there's no actual motivation, it's just a habit. The second motivation was positive feelings. The third motivation was attention and affection. And the fourth was control. I also want you to keep in mind that your motivation for dieting may be a combination of these, and also it may not be very deep at all. You may have simply wanted to lose some weight. It could have been a long time ago, and it seemed innocent enough at the time, and you didn't really think too much about it. If this is the case for you, you may not need so much to challenge your motivations, but simply to kind of wake up to what's happening and snap out of it and realize that you did something in the past that was not helpful, and now you're not going to repeat it. You're not going to continue that harmful pattern going forward. On the other hand, if you're someone who feels like you need to spend some time challenging your motivations, that doesn't mean you need to spend a really great deal of time dwelling on it or trying to solve all the problems that you feel may have led you to dieting. Just take an honest look at what your biggest motivation or motivations might be, and then try to find a new, healthier perspective. Dieting is ultimately a choice. It's a choice that brings consequences, and it's a choice that's detrimental for your recovery from binge eating. For whatever reason, it made sense for you at one point in time to begin dieting, but now you can make a new choice that's more beneficial to your recovery and to your life as a whole. That's all for today's episode about challenging your motivations to diet. I hope that it helps you stay free of restrictive dieting now and into the new year and always. I truly appreciate you being here with me today and throughout this first year of the podcast. I hope you have a great holiday season, and I'm looking forward to continuing to support you in the new year. As I sign off for 2017, I want to encourage you and remind you that you have the power to change your brain and live a binge-free life. The Brain Over Binge podcast is produced and recorded by Brain Over Binge Recovery Coaching, LLC. All work is copyrighted by Brain Over Binge Recovery Coaching, LLC, and all rights are reserved. As a disclaimer, the host of the Brain Over Binge podcast are not professional counselors or licensed healthcare providers, and this podcast is not a substitute for medical advice or any form of professional therapy. Eating disorders can have serious health consequences, and you are strongly advised to seek medical attention for matters relating to your health. Please get help when you need it, and good luck on your journey. Need more help? You can find all of our current and upcoming options for support at brainoverbinge.com.